Moms are constantly told that the solution to feeling less overwhelmed is more self care. But what if the real issue isn't self care at all? Because more self care often looks like another bath, another break, another thing to add to do your to add to your to-do list. And honestly, that's not what most of us need. What we really need is nervous system regulation. Hi, and welcome. I'm Victoria, and if you're new here, I teach yoga and nervous system tools that help mothers feel less overwhelmed and more like themselves again. Your nervous system is the command center for your entire body, and honestly, we don't give it enough credit for how much it's responsible for. It's constantly sending electrical and chemical signals between your brain, your body, and your organs, telling everything what to do, when to do it, and how to respond. Your nervous system is always taking information, and it processes that information in three main steps. First, you have sensory input. You experience something. Next, you have integration. Your brain decides, what do we do about it? And third, motor output. Your response. Your body is doing this all day long without you even having to think about it. So let's use a very real motherhood example. Let's say you're relaxing on the couch and your toddler has their elbow digging into your chest for the 100th time. That's your sensory input. Something just happened in your environment. Next, you have integration. Your brain goes, okay, well, what do we do about this? And then comes motor output, your reaction. Do you fling them off the couch and yell because you're overwhelmed? Or do you calmly say, hey, sweetheart, that hurts. Can you move over a little bit? Both responses come from the same moment, but they come from two very different nervous system states. When our nervous system is dysregulated, we react faster. We're overwhelmed, everything feels louder, and our patience is thinner. But when our nervous system is regulated, we have a little more space. We can pause. We can respond with more patience. And that doesn't make us perfect moms. It just makes it easier for the version of ourselves that we want to be to show up. And this is why movement practices like yin, hatha, and restorative yoga can be such powerful tools for mothers. They help regulate the nervous system so that when moments like this happen, and they will, we have a little more space between stimulus and reaction. What's really interesting is that slow movement practices have been used for centuries. You see this in yoga, tai chi, and in other mindful movement traditions. They help reconnect the mind and the body, because so often in motherhood, we get completely separated from what our body is actually feeling. We're rushing through the day, taking care of everyone, managing 1,000 little things, and we stop noticing what's happening inside ourselves. And the beautiful thing is regulation isn't something that we're good or bad at. It's something we practice. Sometimes that practice happens on your yoga mat, and sometimes it happens right in the middle of your day. You might notice your shoulders creeping up toward your ears, your breath getting shallow, all the sounds around you suddenly start feeling like too much. And instead of pushing through, you pause. You take one slow breath. You give your nervous system a moment to settle. That is regulation. That's the practice. That's why we practice yin. That's why we practice hatha. That's why we practice restorative. Not because motherhood suddenly becomes calm or predictable, but because we learn how to come back to ourselves more gently when it isn't. And sometimes that return is as simple as one breath and the reminder, I'm having a hard moment right now, but it doesn't have to stay this way.